I am ready.
That's very
Hey,
cool,
everyone.
gamer.
Devil May Cry 5 is 34% off on Steam
Hello.
right now.
It's also free on Game Pass.
What's free on Game Pass?
Oh my god, listen, use your ears.
I didn't hear anything.
Devil may cry, may weep. Haha, little baby.
No audio came in. I don't know what happened.
So that was the worst introduction to a GMSG ever. Oh, so here's the thing. YouTube changed how you go live. Back in the day, it used to just be like, you set up an event, you clicked go live on XSplit, and that was it. But now, there's like a streaming page in YouTube Studio, you know, that lovely piece of software that everyone likes, and you have to wait for the preview of the stream to pop up in YouTube Studio before you can actually click the Go Live button. And for some reason, even though it was like, excellent connection, everything's working fine, it wasn't giving me a preview.
Oh, didn't normal YouTube always do that anyways though?
No.
Oh, okay.
So I had to use a backup server to fix that, and now here we are talking about stuff.
Magic.
Video games.
We got a great show for everyone. We got Kody. He's talking about the Overwatch Grand Final leagues.
Yeah.
We got Phantom and I talking about New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
AShadowLink's here.
I can leave if you want me to.
No, don't leave. We haven't talked in months. We gotta keep up this friendship. So yeah, who played video games this week? I'm sure we all did, but like, who sat in their house and played a video game this week?
I play video games every week. I sit in my house all the time and play video games because I have the Nintendo Switch. I can take it anywhere.
Matt, what did you play this week?
Excuse you?
Sat down and finished completely A Link Between Worlds. So that was cool.
Good game.
Very nice.
I was just missing a single heart container because I was fed up with the mini games in that game, and I realized that they're not that hard. So hey, cool.
Nice, cool, nice, cool, nice. Cody.
Also, I'm playing a video game for Source Gaming. I'm a month behind on reviewing.
You sure are, bud.
Oh, you mean Dragon Quest Builders 2?
No. What?
That was a joke.
Okay.
Damn.
Cody, what did you play any video games this week?
I played a little bit of video games. I played some Smash as usual. I played a little bit of Dragon Quest because I finally I got like those pass things for the Nintendo Switch Online members. I bought it in advance because I knew I was going to use it on Dragon Quest Luigi's Mansion. Yeah. So finally bought Dragon Quest and updated, transferred my demo stuff, played a little bit more. I really want to play more of that game, but I just don't have a lot of time right now.
I really want to pick up Dragon Quest XI's, but I kind of want to sit down and play the demo first before jumping into the big game, because I have a lot of stuff to play.
Yeah, the demo gives you a really good taste of the game.
I've heard it gives you like a couple hours of mileage. That's pretty good for a demo.
Yeah, it's a really good demo.
Speaking of, in the Switch version, they added the orchestral soundtrack, right?
Yeah. It's so good.
So there's a mod to add that on the PC version, and apparently downloading that will get you an angry letter from your ISP.
Are you serious?
Yeah, my friend downloaded it, and like months later, he got an angry letter from his ISP telling him to not do that.
That's right, kids. We're sponsored by NordVPN. Use coupon code SourceGamer to get 75%. God, I wish. But really, use a VPN when you're downloading, I guess that. That's ridiculous. I guess the Switch version really is the best version.
Of course.
And then as far as games I played this week, I played Sniper Elite 3. I reviewed it. There's an article up. Go check it out. I was planning on making a video as well, but the last Sniper Elite video didn't do too well, and the Sniper Elite video I put up yesterday is especially not doing well. So I think I might just keep it an article for now, but I guess we'll see. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was I was going to talk about this last week, but I wasn't on. Clone Hero got an update. If you don't know what Clone Hero is, it's a fan-made Unity remake of Guitar Hero 5's engine, with the focus being adding a lot of brand new custom content, basically making it like a fan-made hub for the entire series, and more. And it's great. I love Clone Hero because I like Guitar Hero.
Hill on Clone Hero with Colin.
Hell yeah! And they recently did the. It's in pre-alpha, but it's almost very feature complete for being an alpha. And the latest update, version 23, was really anticipated because it added online, which people have been really wanting. So now we don't have to do some janky parsec setup to play Clone Hero Online. We can just do it through
Boy, I hope that works.
It does. It does work, actually.
Okay, good.
And so this update, everyone was really looking forward to it. There was a date of last Saturday, and all of a sudden, like, people are waiting for this update. The Discord's going wild. They're like, where the hell is this thing? And they're like, so the one developer who is in charge of uploading the build, he doesn't have internet at his house right now, so he went to Starbucks to upload it, but they kicked him out because Starbucks was closing. So the whole update had to be delayed like an extra 9 hours because they couldn't upload it anywhere because they got kicked out of a Starbucks.
No, it's those Starbucks for 24/7.
No, it isn't. I think the drive-thru might be, but not the inside. They got to close that down at some point. But I thought it was really funny because people were just completely losing their shit over it. But hey,
what a terrible situation to end up in.
But hey, it's good. It's a good update. I like it. I like Clone Hero. Go download Clone Hero if you have the instruments.
The instruments.
Yeah, the instruments, the little Guitar Hero instruments.
I'll be right back.
Okay. I guess we'll never know what he played this week. But I guess before getting into anything else... No, that's a lie. Hey, Kody.
Yeah?
So how was the Overwatch League's grand final?
It was pretty great. So I took a long drive to Philadelphia from where I am in Pennsylvania, and it was worth the drive because when we got there, they had, even before the arena actually opened, they had a bunch of stuff going on outside. There were a lot of lines, so really didn't get to do all that much out there, but they had a lot of cool stuff set up. So, I mean, if I got there a little earlier, it would have been cooler to get stuff outside, but when we actually got in the arena, it was also really awesome. They gave out a lot of free stuff, and that's always good. So they gave out like posters and scarves and capes.
Jesus.
It was kind of interesting, but they were like really cheap ones. They were actually pretty nice, and they had very overpriced Overwatch merch, but I bought like a little pin and it was pretty cheap. Actually, the arena itself was arranged pretty cool. They had like a bunch of they had giant screens in the front of the arena, and all the players were below it with all of their setups. And they also gave everybody these wristbands when they were walking in. And during the show, the wristbands would like glow different colors depending on what was happening on the screen.
Oh my god.
It was really cool. It was like a rave. It was really cool. And they used them during the performance. Zed did like a performance before the thing happened. And they were like lighting up all these different colors during his show, and then the two teams that were playing were San Francisco Shock and Vancouver Titans. So Vancouver's colors were green and Shock's were orange. So whenever they would like score a point, the whole arena would glow their color from the wristbands. That was really cool. They are really nailing like the esports they're kind of getting like an esports aesthetic going for what these events should look like, and I really like it. It's so cool.
Didn't like Xbox do that for one of their E3s? Everyone had like these bands full of LEDs that lit up different colors for different game announcement. I mean, it's kind of neato, but it's also like weird. It's weird to watch, at least from like a not being there perspective, because you're just like, oh.
It was strange when it started. I was like, I was wondering, like, what are these wristbands for? Are they like to make sure, like, if you leave, you can get back in? Like, what was the deal? And then, like, they started glowing. I'm like, oh shit!
So
this is really cool.
So I've expressed before that I feel like I'm not a big fan of Overwatch.
Yeah,
we've made this clear, and I think it's a game with not a lot of depth.
Yeah, I agree.
However, is high level Overwatch fun to watch?
I enjoy watching it, actually. Yeah, I don't enjoy playing Overwatch for pretty much the same reasons you said. Like, I don't find there's a ton of depth in it myself, but I really like watching high-level players play it because they do a lot of things that many other people would never think of, and they actually can work together really, really well.
Are there like little maneuvers they have to do? Like they're like little micro maneuvers to
yes
do certain. Go on.
Okay. So I remember specifically one instance during the grand finals that I was just floored because as someone who played Team Fortress 2 a ton back in the day, I really like that game.
Yeah.
It has this one maneuver called rocket jumping where you would shoot at your feet and then get boosted up. That's not really a thing in Overwatch. They just have the one Pharah can like instantly rocket jump by pressing a button pretty much.
Yeah.
But during the grand finals, somebody actually rocket jumped using Bastion's ultimate. Bastion turns into like a tank and he can shoot rockets. So somebody used that to rocket jump to this part of the map that was above everything and pretty much won the game that way because they used that maneuver that isn't usually a thing in Overwatch.
I mean, it sounds about right. Like, Overwatch doesn't really have a lot of verticality, so it makes sense that if you have any sort of verticality, you're good to go. That's basically. Right. A few months ago, when Matt visited, there was some big Counter-Strike thing being streamed, and we were watching that, and I'm a big Counter-Strike boy. I really like Counter-Strike, but Matt isn't, and he was noting like all the ridiculous little things that the players do to just get like quick boosts and all of the certain ways they play that you wouldn't
fucking taking your knife out and putting it away and taking it out and putting it away. It makes you go faster.
Yeah. Stuff like that. That's actually like I haven't been to like a big video game esports tournament thing. I know ESL is like they do a thing in New York every September, and I've been meaning to go, but I've never had the time to because it's always on like the worst weekend possible to do it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's one of those things like high level like esport video game play is really fun to watch because you're not just watching like a standard game of this stuff. You're watching like these ridiculous, meticulous, high level plays.
Yeah, I really think they're going to start getting bigger as time goes on.
Yeah,
they even I even saw in Philadelphia they just opened it, but they weren't using it for the grand finals. They opened an esports arena.
Oh my god!
In Philadelphia. It was right next to the stadium I was at, the Wells Fargo Center.
You see, for ESL 1, they just used the Barclays Center, which in of itself is huge. That's like the big basketball stadium. So
yeah.
They can't really move any larger except if they move to like Madison Square Garden or something.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous like that. But holy hell! Anything else you wanted to share from the Overwatch?
I
The
think that's
Overwatch?
it. Yeah, that's about it. I think it'll be interesting to see how esports evolve in the future, considering things like that, the arena are being built, and they have such cool events like this one.
Do you think we'll do you think we'll get Overwatch Switch esports?
Probably not. But I might play it if it goes on sale.
I remember what was it? I remember like Rainbow Six Siege did a thing where they used to have they were really trying to push for esports across like PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And that game's not crossplay. They just wanted like each platform to have its own like kind of esports thing. But I remember like when they started actually doing it, they only did PC and Xbox because like no one was playing it on PS4. And then after a while, like the player base, not only just the player base dropping, but watching high level Siege gameplay on an Xbox is like completely, it's like watching a fucking circus compared to the PC version, because everyone's trying to shoot these like highly accurate high recoil rifles with controllers, so everyone's just constantly missing half the time. It was it was such a night and day difference from the PC players that I remember they were just like, all right, we gotta stop this. we can't include this with the PC stuff anymore. This is ridiculous.
At least with the Switch version, there are the gyro controls for that kind of stuff. I'm really glad they incorporated that.
Yeah, we're I guess we're still on the fence of whether or not we want to cover that. Overwatch is like relatively big, but we don't really have like a Bethesda contact or anything, so it's hard to just kind of be like, can we reach out and get something? Like,
You mean Blizzard?
oh, did I say Bethesda?
Yeah.
I'm projecting. I'm projecting my woes with Doom Eternal. I can't talk about my hunt to get Bethesda on the horn, but it's been interesting. I guess when Phantom comes back, we'll talk about New York Comic-Con, unless I just speak for him. I'll do that. I played like 2 games. He didn't. Yeah.
I wanted to add something about fucking Rainbow Six Siege. The fucking console players,
Yeah.
like, they do some ridiculous like strats.
Yeah, no, they do.
Oh my god. So like on PC, you never go into a room without like peeking around the corner, but on console you could just fucking run forward and be like completely safe. You can just run into a room and like have like seconds to turn around and be able to react.
There was that one I remember there was that one WebM from a long time ago that was like the Xbox One like Grand League Finals, and it was a guy like rappelling into a window and everyone's shooting at each other. No one's aiming down their sights. Everyone's just spraying from the hip, and no one is getting hit. And this guy just runs out of the room. like it is one of the most ridiculous things to watch. Like, holy shit.
Console play is fucking incredible.
Yeah, console play really is just amazing. Oh my god. But yeah, the last couple of days we went to New York Comic-Con, or New York Line Con, as I'm calling it, because haha, funny. I haven't been to New York Comic-Con in years. Like, the last time I went to New York Comic-Con, the Wii U wasn't even out yet. Like, they were demoing like Tekken Tag Tournament 2 on the Wii U, and Batman Arkham City, and like the whole launch lineup basically a month before the actual thing came out. And I remember like EA was there showing off Dead Space 3. Just like all these big companies used to go to New York Comic Con. Now it's just zombie games and anime fighters. I don't know what happened, but that's all it is now. Everything that was available to play was a zombie game, an anime fighter, or like one of the two like Marvel things they had there. I guess to put out the disappointment first, Phantom and I did not play any of the Marvel stuff. We didn't play Square Enix's Avengers because I just don't care. That game does not look good. That game does.
So sad. Oh, poor fucking Eidos Montreal.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for them. They were like making games they really liked, and then Square Enix was like, "Fuck you guys, make our games." And then that happened. And they made Thief. They made Thief.
Thief 4.
It was a completely separate studio.
Yeah.
And then they made fucking Shadows of the Tomb Raider, which apparently nobody likes. And now they're making this game, which nobody likes.
Yeah.
So yeah. I want them to be able to make the game that they actually want to make, which is the third Deus Ex reboot game.
Yeah.
But they that won't happen for like a decade.
Really sucks. Really makes me sad. They also had Iron Man VR, which I also didn't play, even though I'm a big VR boy and I like me some VR. It was weird. Like the company setup was weird because you had Bandai Namco, you had Capcom, you had PlayStation / Square Enix, you had shit, that was really about it. Like it wasn't a very there just wasn't a lot of stuff, and even then what they brought, I think Capcom and Bandai Namco was brought some pretty cool stuff because Bandai Namco brought My Hero Academia 2, which was just announced. They also had Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. They had that new One Piece Warriors game. And then Capcom had Project Resistance, Monster Hunter Iceborne, RE5 and 6 for Switch, and which is so fucking weird. And they had the Mega Man ZX collection. But then PlayStation brought Avengers, that new Predator game, and Iron Man VR, and that's it. And you would think if Square is going to be there, why not Final Fantasy VII Remake? They had a Death Stranding setup that was just a poster and that mannequin of Norman Reedus.
I saw a picture of that. One of my friends sent that to me.
And that's it. That's all they had for Death Stranding.
Did he have his funky fetus?
Yes. It was him in the full getup. And
that game is so strange.
I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited for it. We talked about it on a previous episode, but I'm really excited for it.
I'm excited for the ship post.
Yeah.
That will also be great.
Yeah.
I probably gotta wait 2 years before I could even remotely touch it, so hey, wow.
Maybe they'll bring it to PlayStation Now, and you can stream it to your PC desktop.
Please don't talk about that.
They lowered the price. They added God of War 20 whatever to it.
Oh shit.
Now
I
you can
play the same game that I played 10 times already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that more people have played The Last of Us 2 than Death Stranding? Well, to be fair, you don't need to actually pick up a controller to play Last of Us 2, considering that game's all cutscenes and no gameplay. So
I really like the game where the camera is up close to the character's back and it's like a cinematic over-the-shoulder view. I don't remember what that game was called.
Wait,
it was really cool.
I have an MS Paint photo. Hang on. I should have a... Don't I have a little MS Paint shitpost called every Sony exclusive or something? shit. I don't know where the hell it is. Damn it.
The ironic thing is, I like the over-the-shoulder camera view for, like... I really like how it's done in Devil May Cry 5, where when you walk slow, it'll pull in for the over-the-shoulder view.
Yeah.
But, like, you have to do that. You have to do that by choice. It's not something that's ever forced on you.
It's one of those things where, like, I mean, the big problem is, like, every Sony exclusive has that shit. Like, every Sony exclusive is, like, a third-person, like, cinematic action game, with, like, a couple exceptions, like Spider-Man, but it's so homogenized.
I will admit, too, in 2013, back when I was a wee lad, when I first played Shin Megami Tensei 4, I kept the camera in the fucking over-the-shoulder view for the entire goddamn game.
There you go. That's how you do it. I don't know why we went on this little side rant, I guess, but we're just shitposting about Sony exclusives. But no, I did manage to play a couple games. A couple companies were nice of us to allow us like exclusive press access to play some demos. And the main two I played on the first day was Sniper Elite Zombie Army 4 Dead War, which I made a video on, so if you want to know my opinions, go watch that video. I think it pretty much covers everything I'd have to say. And the second game was The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, which I was supposed to have an impressions video up last night, but I took a big nap. So I'm going to do that today. And I really liked that one. I think that was my favorite game of the show, which is really surprising because I didn't expect a licensed VR game to impress me as much as it did.
Wow. What was it like? Like, how did it use the VR setup?
So I think, like, the best way to put it is that the thing about VR is that, like, it's come a long way in the last, like, 3 years. Because there is such a... Matt can back me up on this, too, because we had, like, a little play date where he just played a bunch of VR stuff. And there is such, like, a massive difference in terms of, like, control and smoothness.
Yeah, I played VR. I have... my gaming club has a system for... It has a desktop and a whole Oculus setup with it.
Nice.
Colin,
So I've used it.
Yeah.
I know.
Colin, are you talking about when I played Summer Lesson for 4 hours in your basement while sweating profusely?
Yes, but I'm also talking about all the other demos you played. You weeaboo.
I love Beat Saber. I know that's it's normie. It's not really that interesting, but
I wanted to play
so
Beat
much
Saber,
fun.
but Colin didn't have it.
I don't have Beat Saber because I didn't. I only had at the time I only had PSVR, and the PSVR version of Beat Saber is
yeah, it doesn't have the mods.
yeah, it's
the mods are what make it fun.
It's sort of defeatist because you're just kind of
Yeah.
like you can only play the official stuff, and what's the fun in that? It's kind of like how there's a VR Rock Band game, but like you can only buy DLC for it. So what's the point? Like,
yeah.
why wouldn't you allow custom songs? Because
Yeah, I don't
harmonics dumb. But no, like he can back me up on this. Like, there is such a massive difference between like the stuff that came out like super early on when like the Vive and the Oculus and PSVR first came out, because developers were still experimenting with like, should we do teleportation? How do we turn? Like, what, like, how does someone move in VR? Like, a good example, last night I was playing LA Noire VR on my PC setup, and like that game is pure fucking jank. And that's like an early like VR game. Like, that's a game where it's like, alright, you have 3 options to move. 1, double tap the trackpad and you watch a third-person animation of Cole Phelps running, just breaking your immersion. The second is you tap the trackpad to, like, scoot forward in one direction. Or the third is you hold down the trackpad and flail your arms, like, side to side as if you're running, and it moves you forward. And you're just like, this is bad. This is, like, not fun. Meanwhile, you know, with stuff like Blood and Truth and Farpoint and Firewall Zero Hour and this new Walking Dead game, they're just like, yeah, the controller has an analog stick. Just let them move forward. Like, stop doing this bullshit.
I really actually, I don't know how I feel about that system.
Locomotion.
It's called like artificial locomotion.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about artificial locomotion because apparently I take to VR like super well.
Yeah.
Because I barely got sick at all. I didn't get sick at all until I played Resident Evil 7, which I've come to realize is the only game that I played on your PSVR that had analog stick movement.
Yep.
That made me fucking sick to my stomach.
But you played the London Heist, right?
Yeah, but like you don't move around in that.
No, but like that truck sequence is still like very, very akin to locomotion. I think the only big difference is that you don't have inherent control of the truck.
Yeah.
But
I think it works for that because you have like a stationary viewpoint.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, because when I was playing L.A. Noire last night, they were making me try to drive a car, and it was rough. I couldn't do it.
And also, they have a really good like filter system for like high speed.
Yeah.
So like everything around you is like really unintelligible.
Okay.
Which was the opposite problem for Resident Evil 7, where everything was like super fucking sharp because that game has no anti-aliasing, and it's like super low res in the PSVR headset. If anybody remembers the Metal Gear Solid 3DS demo, it looked like that.
And just to think, it would look worse if I had a regular PS4, which I did for the longest time. It's not great.
It was very, very uncomfortable. I got fucking queasy. I had to take the headset off multiple times while I was just getting through like the first goddamn hour of the game.
I should have let you try something like Farpoint or Firewall, which has like way better locomotion. I think it depends on whether or not you play the game like standing or sitting as well. I think that's a big factor. Because it is very weird to be like supposed to be a character running and you're just kind of sitting there.
So does PSVR, do you have to use a controller for it, or do you use like those, I forgot what they're called, the motion
move controllers?
Yeah.
I think all of the games support the DualShock 4, but like everyone will rather you prefer the move controllers.
Gotcha.
Which is a shame because both the DualShock 4 and the move controllers are kind of bad.
Yeah.
Because like the DualShock 4 is like the more advanced one and it has all the buttons you want, but
yeah,
you can't split it apart.
Exactly.
And the move is just so antiquated.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have enough buttons. That's why it's cool that all the shooting games use the big PSVR aim controller, which is like their big rifle controller. That thing's really nice to use for shooters because it's just like this big chunky piece of plastic with like analog sticks and triggers on it.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Oculus, it's like you have two separate controllers, and they have a lot of buttons on them. They each have a joystick and triggers on the front. And I was playing games like we have Super Hot also. And,
that's the go-to standard.
Yeah, that one was good too. And I don't think there was a lot of movement in that game.
No, you kind of stand there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never. I think there was another game that was like a robot one. I don't remember what it was even called though. I remember moving around in a couple games. I didn't really find that much of an issue with it, but I could definitely see how like moving around a lot without actually moving can be jarring.
that's the problem.
That's the whole thing,
is moving but without actually moving. Which was the big concern at first, but I think a lot of VR developers just realized that there's going to be a lot of people that are A-okay with that. So they at least include it as an option. Most of these games still allow you to do like teleportation, or they put in things like a half-step turning, or vignetting to kind of fix it. Yeah.
Yeah. Give a lot of options for the player.
But for me, I'm A-okay with just regular old locomotion, push the analog stick in the direction I want to go type thing. It just feels fine, because I can't just walk in place, you know?
Yeah, same.
So that's how they did this Walking Dead demo, was they had locomotion and they had half-step turning. I wish I could turn that off, but I didn't. But the thing about... So like, what is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners? Well, it's a semi-open survival horror game with crafting mechanics, aka a game you've played like a billion times before.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, the big hook being this time it's in VR, which means that they're able to really add some depth to all the mechanics, because now there's like a lot more ways to play. I think I was talking to someone about this the other day, where I was just talking about how like the inherent control scheme with how VR works, like, does add more depth to what could otherwise be just a totally kind of generic okay game if it wasn't in VR, because you have motion, you have like context sensitive actions and stuff like that. And I'm really glad that all of these newer VR games are putting in like a lot of stuff that feels natural and almost realistic in a sense, but still very video gamey. So, like, one thing they had me do was, like, oh, take out your backpack. And the way you take out your backpack in this game is you, with either hand, you reach over your left shoulder, and you grab, and then you pull it in front of you.
Oh,
and then you have your backpack, and you look through it, and it has all, like, your inventory in it. And then when you want to grab something, you literally grab it out of the backpack. You let go of the backpack to have it return to your back. And then say if you grab like a bandage and you want to heal yourself, you then wrap your one hand around your other arm as if you're actually like bandaging up your arm in real life. And that kind of stuff is really cool. It's goofy, but it's really neat. And the combat has about just as much depth as pretty much every other like VR action game of the last couple of years. Like if you want to reload a gun, like you press the eject button on the pistol you're using, it ejects a magazine, you pull a new one out of your chest rig, and then you rack the slide. Like it's a lot of it is like stuff that has been done in VR before, but to have it kind of all put together in like this one big seamless like smorgasbord of an experience is really nice. But the real thing that makes it interesting, and I guess this goes into like sort of why this game is very weird, is because it's not just a straightforward linear survival horror game. There are quests, there are objectives, there are factions, there's a moral system, there's dialogue options. You could almost say that it's very akin to Telltale's The Walking Dead. And that's the weird thing, because this game is being published by Skybound, and Skybound owns Telltale's The Walking Dead now. They own Telltale.
Oh.
And the character models, when I first watched that cinematic trailer, like the character models looked cartoony, but they didn't look super stylized. But once I was actually in the game, I was noticing those character models looked a lot like Telltale models. So I had some questions. And I asked them if this game had anything to do with Telltale's The Walking Dead. And they said, well, of course they're in the same universe, because they're both Walking Dead games, which I should have expected. But they did say that you should expect something later on in the game. And I was like, ooh.
Interesting.
Ooh.
That's exciting.
It is exciting, but like I guess let me just give you a general like idea of how this demo went. I played for about 20 minutes, and I played one mission twice, because that one mission went very differently both times I played. So I'm in this like town in New Orleans. I go up to a house that has like this one faction called the Tower Inn, and they were like, "Oh, we can't let you in. Go talk to Jeff. He's around the corner." So I go, "Okay." So I walk around the corner to talk to Jeff, and he's like, "Who the hell are you?" And I'm like, I'm just here to help out." And he's like, "All right, these guys, this opposing faction, they're keeping my brother hostage. You got to go save my brother, and we'll help you out." So we're like, okay. They're like, "Go find a blue house." So I go find the blue house, and then the person who was helping me do the demo, they were like, "All right, so there's the blue house, so you can either go through the front door, you can climb through a window, you can climb up a drainage pipe in the back and go through like a big hole in the house." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do that." So I climb up this drainage pipe, I go in, and there's just like this group of guys there, and the brother's in the bathroom being held hostage, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And I'm just like, "I'm just passing through." And they're like, "No, we're gonna kill this guy." And then I'm like, "No." So I pull out my gun, shoot, having a blast, having a good old time. I run out of ammo, and because I'm in like the heat of a gunfight, I drop my gun because I'm like, spaghettiing. And so I'm like, "You know what? We're gonna do this personal." So I pull out my knife and I start stabbing away. And at one point, one of the last member of this faction like backs up into the bathroom where the brother's being held hostage. I miss by just a pixel, and I kill the hostage.
Oof.
And I kill the last person, and I'm like, "Okay, what do I do now?" And then I'm just like, "Well, time to head back and see what happens." So I head back, and this guy and his friend immediately start opening fire, and I return fire, and then I'm like, "All right, everything, shit hit the fan. It's just time to go on a spree. I really need those radio parts." So I kick my way into the house, and I start like just firing upon everything. I'm running out of ammo, so I'm just picking up like chairs and throw pillows and like throwing punches and stuff. And eventually I get capped because I was like outnumbered. So then I did the mission again. And this time I decided to go through all of like the dialogue trees and everything, because yes, there are options. Like there are, like, you can talk to these characters. So I go in, I'm talking to the opposing faction, and they're like, "You don't get it. This guy killed my daughter. She doesn't deserve that. She's 11 years old, man. So we're gonna give you an option. You kill him, we'll give you all the parts you need." And so I kill the hostage, and they're like, "Okay, let me get you those parts." And then I just start firing on everyone anyway, because I wanted to see what the chaos is like. I got a bit of just like the jokester, I got a taste of chaos, and I wanted more. But unlike the movie Joker, I didn't rip off like The Dark Knight. So so now I'm just like rummaging around their house for parts. I'm finding like Pop-Tarts and cigarettes and like scrap metal. Like, I'm literally like, at one point I pop a cigarette in my mouth, take it out, eat a Pop-Tart, pop a cigarette back in. I'm walking around. Like, this game's very, it's kind of like a survival horror version of like a Bethesda game, almost. Like Fallout 4. Just in the way that everything in the environment is like super interactable, and you can pick stuff up. You can pick up like scrap and food and other little items, and just kind of do whatever the hell you want. And eventually I ran outside, and I got overrun by like 15 zombies because gunfire is loud. And I'm trying to shake them off. The game has a mechanic so you can like shake zombies off by like waving your arms back and forth. But eventually I got chomped on, and that was the end of the demo for me. But yeah, that was super cool. I really liked that. It was completely ridiculous, and shit hit the fan real hard. But like, that's cool though. Like, that's cool that they have that in a VR game. Like, that there's that much option, and it's not just like a linear, straightforward experience. And the fact sheet they gave me in the little press release said, like, this game is supposed to be, like, 15 plus hours long. If they're able to keep up, like, that level of depth and interactability and just like, detail, fucking bravo. That's game of the year right there. I'm really excited for that.
That sounds super interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming to Oculus, Vive, Valve Index. I assume it'll just be compatible with Windows Mixed Reality from the get-go. And then nothing on PSVR right now.
Okay.
At the end, Colin became a Pop-Tart. It was weird. I just picked up a Pop-Tart and I just shoved it in my gob and ate it. It was
Like, did it actually say Pop-Tart on it?
no, but it looked like a pop. It was called like toaster strudel.
A Pillsbury toaster strudel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that a joke?
What?
A toaster strudel?
That's a real thing.
No, Pillsbury toaster strudels are real. That's a real thing.
I know.
But that's what it was.
So confused.
But that's what it was called in the game. It was called like toaster strudel or something. I mean, that's basically what a Pop-Tart is. It's just like a hardened toaster strudel.
Also, yeah.
Tarts greater than toaster strudels, honestly.
No.
I haven't slept. I've been
Pop-Tart
awake
faster,
for
wait,
several hours.
Why?
I am losing my mind.
Are you
Also, yeah.
Hey,
So
Phantom,
just-
talk about games you played. I'm eating a bagel.
So I have to take care of him.
All right, never mind.
Huh?
What?
Nothing.
What? Talk about games you played.
I was saying that I'm sorry that I had to go for a little because my little brother had a nosebleed and nothing happened, and then I couldn't hear anything after that for some reason.
God.
I played.
Oh. We lost him.
So I played Astral Chain.
Anyways,
Oh my god! This is going off the rails.
As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. At New York City Comic Con, I didn't play a lot of games because I was mostly helping Colin with recording with what we could record. We were gonna record Pirate Warriors 4, and then we didn't have an extra HDMI capable. Then when we came back the next day, I was like, "Nah, you can't record anymore." It's like, well, thanks for nothing. So I didn't even bother playing it anymore because I just didn't end up playing it because there was just other things that I was doing. Like, what was it? I had friends that were hanging out at Discord on Discord. I have friends from Discord that were hanging out at New York City Comic Con, so I just hung out with them. But in terms of what we did play, I played Resident Evil. We played 5 or 6. I think we played 5. Yeah, it was 5. We played Resident Evil 5, me and Colin.
It was not 5, it was 6.
It was 6?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was 6, because I wanted to play the worst one.
It was very obviously 6.
Yeah, I wanted to play 6. And I liked it. I didn't feel like I was doing better than Colin. But at the end when they gave it to
cool,
us,
Phantom. You can review it for Source Gaming with me. I don't want to play it with somebody who's predisposed to already hate it.
I've never played a Resident Evil game before, so I don't know if I can do that. And I also don't own it.
Review codes.
Review codes.
I mean, are they going to give us 2?
We can ask.
Okay. Wait, does it have online co-op?
Yeah.
Yes.
What the hell? That's weird.
No, it's not. That's how the game was made.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That game came out when there was internet? In consoles?
RE6? Yes.
I thought it was like a PS2 game or some shit.
Resident Evil 6 is a 360 game.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And a PS3 game.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was PS2 or some shit. It looks like a PS2 game.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. I think the weird part about it was the fact that like it felt like there was way too many controls that it could have been simplified. So I felt like I was constantly just running around, not knowing what to do.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Matt. Before the demo started, they had like a blow up of like the Switch itself with like every single like combination of buttons you could ever do. Mm-hmm. And it looked like a fucking RTS because of like all the little mini actions you can do in RE6.
It was really confusing. I mean, yeah, I got
RE6 has a very deep and complex bunch of systems that it never tells you about.
Yeah,
But,
it really
I mean,
doesn't.
I don't think I'd be able to get accustomed to the controls easily, but I feel like I could just do like the bare necessities. Okay, I can walk around.
Here, I
hit
posted
you.
a picture in a stream
Yeah.
channel.
It is way too
Let me see
complicated.
this, Let me see this.
this
Oh,
image.
hell yeah.
Whoa.
This image is so ridiculous. Here, let me put it on
Moment-
stream.
Oh, holy shit! They actually tell you about the counter mechanic that the game never tells you about.
Yeah, it's really confusing just from first glance. But after that, it's just like, oh, and like also like freaking figuring out how to change your weapons. It's like, yeah, you told me all of this, but actually
Yeah,
trying
you gotta
to perform
use
all of
the
that and having to
D-pad.
having to remember all of that is way too complicated. So like, I'll just do the bare necessities and just
Wait.
I'll walk around,
But
shoot.
like
and
most
hit.
shooters use the D-pad to change weapons.
I don't play shooters.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I play Overwatch and that's it. Oh, and Splatoon. That's it.
Yeah.
that's fun.
This all looks like Resident Evil 6.
And then we played I played Mega Man 0 ZX Legacy Collection, and I played both Z and ZX the Z Chaser mode because I haven't played the original Mega Man 0 and ZX games. The only Mega Man games I've played is I played some of the original games. I played some of the X games like 4 and 6 and 2. Command Mission, and then of course a bit of Battle Network, and then Star Force 3. So I'm more interested in the RPG ones anyways. But getting accustomed to like it was just playing Z and ZX was just like playing the X games, except for a few of the controls, because you have the Z Saber that you have to keep using. And I was doing the Z Chaser mode because that's supposed to be like the new mode that's in it, like the speedrun mode. And I did it for Z and ZX, and the controls for I believe Z felt very much almost exactly the same as an X game, where except that you have a Z Saber, and then of course I feel like if I could remap the controls, I'd do better. But for ZX, I felt like the controls were kind of confusing because if I remember correctly, you have your B button. I think either the B or the A button is your jump button, and then the X button is what you use to change your forms, so you can use different attacks. And then the R button is like it's either the R or the L button. That's actually the Z Saber, and the Y button you shoot. So it felt like really complicated because that's ZX controls, but Zero's controls is kind of inverted from that. So it's kind of like, even though it has the same controls, except for that you can change your forms on the spot, it's like, why did you even bother to change almost all of the controls to try to play like a different game, even though it's essentially kind of like the same game? But it was still fun nonetheless. I mean, I lost because I didn't beat the timer, but it still lets you play the stage after you to the boss, and then once you beat the boss, it's like, okay, that's it, and then that's it. It was fun. It was fun, but I think that's my main issue: the fact of the controls. Of course, if I can adjust them, then okay,
Bro,
I'll be right back.
bro, I'm reading this fucking control scheme. I've played 99 hours of Resident Evil 6. I did not know there was fucking teching in this game. You can press the B button when you fall to the ground and get up quickly. What the fuck? This changes everything. Why do they not tell you any of this?
This was so like it was really fucking funny to look at.
This is
And then they drop you into
necessary, dude.
And it's funny because they just drop you in the demo they had was the Chris and Piers.
Bro, what the fuck? You could press A near your friend who's being grabbed by zombies and free them. I just shoot the zombie. What the fuck? Why did they not tell you any of this?
Could you imagine trying to do all these little actions on the Joy-Cons?
I feel like
boy.
I may be remembering this wrong, but I don't remember being told about rescuing from zombos.
Now, how about all this, but on the Switch Lite?
Okay.
With Joy controls, yeah.
With the small little controller.
Try doing it with the new 8-bit Do controller that replaces the analog sticks with D-pads.
Oh.
So you guys do everything on a D-pad.
Why did they do that? Why does it just have D-pads?
I have no idea.
It might be for the games that
2D platformers,
2D
things like
games, including Link's Awakening, that don't use the D-pad, even though they have entirely digital controls.
that.
Yeah.
Why don't they just let that be an alternate option?
Because Nintendo doesn't make controller options.
Oh yeah, just Sakurai.
For a fighting game, you need to remember.
Yeah, that's true.
If you couldn't, that'd be terrible.
Yep.
Oh my god. What else did we play? I also played the new Predator game, and
You
was
didn't like it.
I didn't like it, which is really a shame because it's made by Ilphonic and they made Friday the 13th, and I love Friday the 13th the game. I love it a lot, but yeah, it wasn't great. It honestly wasn't.
Well, you only got to play as a Predator.
I only got to play as the Predator. I didn't get to play as the Fire Team, but like the Predator should be the most fun character to play as because you're supposed to be like OP, but it didn't feel like that. It has that same level of jank that Friday the 13th did, but whereas Jason is like hefty and heavy and has like weight to him, like the way that, you know, Jason should.
Yeah.
Predator is like super floaty and like trying to aim with these weapons that are super precise. Meanwhile, your character moves at like 60 miles an hour is really like just bizarre to play.
Mm-hmm.
Further like impacted by the fact that your ammo and your cloaking are tied to the same stamina bar. So if you run out of stamina, you can't shoot. That's cool. And if you shoot, you can't just like immediately run afterwards. That's neato.
From watching you play, it seemed like those should have been two different bars. Like you have a stamina bar and then you have an attack bar.
Yeah, because there were so many instances where I would like line up a shot perfectly with my cloak and I'd go to shoot and nothing was happening because it was like, oh, you're on low battery. And I'm like, well, what the fuck?
Also, we should probably also just to make sure the game comes out next year, but it's also in like that was like pre-alpha or something like that's called, whatever.
Yeah, it was in pre-alpha. Walking Dead was also supposedly in pre-alpha, but that game comes out in January, which is interesting. It seemed like way more polished, but then again, like pre-alpha and beta, like all these terms that game companies use to show off demos of stuff usually doesn't actually like accurately reflect the state of the game.
They use what they have in, like the most stable sense.
Yeah,
so
but you could tell that it was like kind of an early build because like the game ran at like fucking 10 FPS. It was very choppy.
Oh yeah.
There's too much foliage.
There's just like no set terminology. People just use stuff for whatever they feel like.
They use alpha as a way to be like it's not the final game, and they use beta to be like it's kind of like the final game. But that's I meant that like publicly, not as like an actual.
That's fair, yeah.
Because like you'll have like the Call of Duty Modern Warfare open beta, and it's like this game comes out in a month. Like, come on.
Yeah. That is an excuse to say if there's any problems, we might fix it.
We'll probably fix them.
Like Daemon X Machina,
Probably not.
prologue missions. Well, not the prologue missions, the prototype missions.
Yeah. And then the last real big game we played that we waited online 2 hours for.
Oh yeah,
was Project Resistance, the new 4v1 Resident Evil game.
The second Resident Evil game I played.
And it was actually kind of fun.
It was really fun.
Yeah, it was I Phantom's not used to it. Matt and I definitely are. I don't know about Kody, but like we have lived through the many terrible multiplayer Resident Evil spin-offs.
I haven't really played Resident Evil games.
Especially in the last few years with, like, Operation Raccoon City and Umbrella Corps.
Corps.
But this is interesting, because immediately, the first thing I noticed when we were finally, like, looking at gameplay in line for this thing was, hold on a second. This is using the Resident Evil 2 engine.
Yeah.
Like, the
it's
RE2
using
make
the,
engine.
It's using the re-engine.
Which is new, because usually these spin-offs have always used something else.
They've always looked like below par.
Yeah.
Especially fucking Umbrella Corps. That thing used like fucking Unity.
Yeah, it uses Unity.
But yeah, this is on the fucking re-engine, which apparently is just a really good engine in general. Assets can be reused. They're very like versatile. Things like mannequins show up in every single game that uses the engine.
Yeah.
It's the same mannequin. But yeah, because all of the games have a very similar like rendering style, like assets from another game can be used for another game. It seems very cost efficient.
I mean, they definitely...
The engine itself is really good.
They definitely were reusing a lot of stuff from RE2, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, for example, I remember someone in line pointed out that January uses, like, the same walking and running animations as Ada from RE2. And stuff like that. Like little either January or Valerie, but they use like basically the same kind of movement. But that's like, that stuff is like fine. Like, of course Mr. X is the same Mr. X from RE2, and I think some of the guns and some of the zombies themselves are reused from RE2. Assets and yeah. But, like, of course there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, especially considering the fact that we don't know what their plan is for this game. Like, we don't know if there's a price. There isn't a release date. We just know it's 2020.
We don't know its name, other than Project Resistance.
Yeah, we just know it's called Project Resistance, which doesn't sound like a final name, but yeah?
Fucking Alex Wesker's in this?
Who?
Revelations 2 villain? What the fuck?
Yeah!
That's the villain of Revelations 2, who is Albert Wesker's sister. It's like, what? I didn't expect the Revelations games to ever be referenced ever again.
Good. we're keeping it on. We're keeping it alive. But, so yeah, the game's a 4v1 multiplayer. The way it works is you have 4 survivors. Each one has a different ability. Some of them are useful. The rest aren't. And then you have... They're all going up against the Mastermind, who is like this omnipotent character who's able to... Yeah, this Frenchman. And he's able to spawn in zombies and dogs and traps and Mr. X. And of course, he's also able to control the zombies and Mr. X. And the idea... The way they had this demo set up is like the 4 characters have to get through an area and complete a bunch of objectives to get to the end of the area. Meanwhile, the Mastermind's just trying to stop them. And
kill them.
Yeah, and depending on how you do, you either add time or you subtract time to like a big timer at the top of the screen. Right. When that timer reaches 0 and you haven't finished your objective, like the game is over, like the survivors lose. But if you keep stacking up time, it gives you like a lot more, just a lot more of a chance to keep going. Like there's respawning in this game. It's not like a permadeath kind of thing.
But if you every good thing that you do, like when you pass the area, you get like 120 seconds added to the timer.
Yeah.
If you take damage, you lose like 10 or 15 seconds. But if you die, you lose 40 seconds. And I think even if the timer runs out, you have like 10 seconds of overtime before like whatever the gas inside the room is can kill you.
Yeah.
So say even if like you run out of time, if you're able to get to like the end of that area with like the keys and stuff, or the security card and whatever, by the time, but even when the timer's out, like in 10 seconds, then you'll still win, but you'll still be at a disadvantage because that just means you have even lesser time to get out the next area. And the next area, of course, is going to be bigger than the last. And because it's more spacious, the mastermind is going to have more cameras to be able to place zombies, lickers, or even Mr. X, but in different areas so that it can all like bombard you at once.
The 4 characters are, you have a tank who can take like more damage. You have the melee guy, you have a healer, and then you have a hacker. And I played as the hacker. Phantom played as the mastermind.
Yeah.
And I think we were the 2 characters that were most like at odds against each other the whole time, because the hacker can remote disable cameras, and the mastermind pretty much can only do everything he does through cameras. So if you disable a camera that like in a room that all the survivors are in, like the mastermind can't do anything for like a full minute.
Yeah. Well, I can switch to a different camera.
Yeah.
But I won't be able to anything that's going on. And then like say if I had like a landmine setup, I can't set it. I can't make it go off because I can't see it anymore.
Yeah.
So like everything that happens in that room, in order for me like to see if I wanted to activate it, or like say if like, because one of the things that you could do is that you can have a machine gun attached to the camera that's in the room.
Yeah.
So like if there was times where I was shooting Kawlun, and then he shut down the camera.
Yeah.
So then I couldn't shoot anymore. So like, okay, now it's time to move to the next camera and keep preparing. And like you can even like lock. So like say if when they open a door, I can lock the door that's ahead of them so that they can't get out, and then there's a cooldown for it.
Yeah,
so
they gotta like bust through it. We gotta like kick it down or something.
So like everything that you do, you can't like automatically do right away. So like if I set it on landmine, I can't activate it right away because that'd just be kind of unfair.
But
and also there's a oh my bad, go ahead.
But I was gonna say like once the cooldown is over and we're able to like burst into a new room and like I can immediately like disable the camera, like we're pretty much good to go for that entire room.
Yeah.
Which according to the Capcom people, I don't know if they were just saying this to be nice or they like it was true, but apparently me and my team of survivors, we were like the best of the event because we had gotten to the final area of the demo without dying and the quickest of anyone else who had played that demo at the event up until that point, which is that, you know, makes the 2-hour line worth it. Like, if you're going to wait in line forever, you might as well be the best people at the game.
Another thing is that, what was it? So, no, it's a 15-minute demo, technically. But the thing is that if you didn't... they let you play 2 games. So, like, if you didn't get the chance to use the full 15 minutes.
Yeah, most people died super early, so they had them play a second round.
In our whole game, we were literally almost, like, 3 seconds away from hitting the 15-minute mark.
Yeah, we were very close to like actually beating the demo and just like getting through it.
So we basically like we used up the whole 15 minutes and we had a whole bunch of fun. Did we actually explain how like the mastermind gameplay works though? Well,
yeah.
You wouldn't know it, but I'm talking about like the card system.
Oh, I guess you can explain that.
Okay. So first off, before we even got to the demo, they had us draw cards to see who the mastermind would be. I picked the middle card. They had us flip it over, and I was the only one with the mastermind. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But so when you're playing as the mastermind, you have it's kind of like Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories. That's what I thought of it immediately. You have a set amount of cards. You have like 5 cards, and you can pick between each card that you have has a cost on it. So like the liquor would be like 6. You have a zombie will be like either 0 or 3. You have not a respawning, a healing zombie. You have the zombie dogs. You have a machine gun. You can have a landmine. You have a a bear trap, and then you have like a little enhancer. So like in the camera, it'll like inject. You'll have a gun that you can shoot down your own zombies, and it'll make them stronger. And then there's also a clock one, which is like if for this camera, you can make the cost of each card be 1 less, which means that'll really help you with ensuring that you can set up more traps and stuff like that. And of course there's also a cooldown, but the thing is that it's also based upon the space of the room. So like you can't set down a landmine like right in front of a door. You can't set like a trap right in front of the door because that's unfair. And for zombies, they can't be too close to any of the actual like what's it called? Like I guess objects that are they can't be set up too close to the objects in the room or else they'll spawn into it, which you can't have that happen. Yeah. So like you have to be really aware of the space. And then for Mr. X, there is a separate timer or like a separate meter that you have that builds up over time. And when it builds up over time, it'll be a separate card where you can set Mr. X down, but you have to control him. Yeah. So like when it's time for Mr. X to come out and you're ready to use him, you can actually fight against the survivors. You have like 5 different attack options. But then once you're done, once the timer is out, or you can choose to actually stop piloting Mr. X, he'll just go down and like despawn.
Mr. X was certainly like the ultimate for the mastermind, because he just takes like no damage and he can just like annihilate you. You're pretty much like, when you're a survivor and you're going up against Mr. X, like you just have to try to stun him. And I don't know, is Mr. X on a timer, or is it just like
Mr. X is on a timer?
Yeah,
it's like a 1 minute timer.
Yeah, you basically just have to like avoid him for like a full minute, which was actually kind of easy. You just run into like a different room and you just you just hide out.
If you're gonna use Mr. X, you have to have like, it'd be best to have everything set up in other rooms before. So like even if they get past Mr. X, like of course you would want to use Mr. X in like a situation where either multiple people are down and then you can just take down the last person. Yeah. Which I think is what happened to us in our gameplay. Yeah. Or you have to take them down in like a very closed area so that it'll be hard for them to get past you or get away. Yeah. I think that since Mr. X is also, he's kind of slow, but it's also like if you're attacking, you can't quickly switch to a different attack. You have to like, his attack animations are kind of slow as well. So like even though there's like a 1 minute timer, the fact that his attacks are pretty slow, even though they're powerful, you'll think that you have a lot of time with him, but you'll realize that it's quickly running out. But since you can get out of him at any time and just go back to attacking them with like setting up more zombies and stuff, it feels like there's always an option that the mastermind will have.
All in all, like it was good fun. But as I was telling Phantom as we were walking away, I was kind of like, the question is like, how deep will this game be?
Yeah. I think there'll be I'm more in the mindset of that. It'd be weird to like just give, like whether it's paid or not. I think it'd be weird to like just give this off as this is just a game, and that's it. Like of course they're gonna add more stuff to it, but like in terms of like, I think they would add a story to it, to where like you're playing with other computer survivors, or like maybe like you're playing online and then it's still like a story mode that's online. Because it'd be weird to like just give these people the game and then they don't have, the only incentive that they have to play it is the fact that it's a multiplayer survivor game. At least like have a story that builds into it, and then once the story is over, it's like, okay, keep playing online as just multiplayer. I feel like there needs to be an incentive to it.
I just hope there's enough like variation in terms of like objectives and locations and enemies and like character abilities and stuff to keep you wanting to like return to it like over time, because I feel like this could that's kind of the problem with a lot of multiplayer games, is that like a lot of games kind of suffer from like, this is fun for about a month, but now I feel like I've kind of seen everything, and which also kind of sucks, because I'm also against the idea that games constantly need new content to keep things interesting. But it is one of those things where like, if this game doesn't seemingly have some sort of like deep progression like built into the game, like I can only see this lasting like so long.
I feel like if they put a lot of care into it, not that it could be like the next Monster Hunter World, but you could do like, I feel like there's a lot of events that they could do, like crossover events with like.
Yeah, I mean they're tapping into a market that like Dead by Daylight has been in, And Dead by Daylight's been going on for years now, and the Resident Evil franchise has a ton of big bads and, you know, characters that they could just throw in. This game could also be like $30. I'm sort of expecting it to be $30, but I'm just saying, like, I kind of hope that, like, they don't just use that as an excuse to put in, like, the bare minimum amount of content into it. Like,
Right.
I kind of hope they throw in more. Fucking make, you know, don't just stick to Mr. X. Throw Nemesis in there. You know, put the yeah.
Can we get a Wesker summon?
Yeah, Wesker. Put the Bakers in there from RE7. Like, go for it. Just go all out. Bull out.
I want to
Also,
Albert Wesker rendered in the re-engine.
Yeah.
yeah, like put different areas. Like you can have like the house the mansion that's in Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about.
That. Yeah, like do that, or on a ship. That'd be cool. Like make it different areas.
Yeah,
like,
but the Revelations big bads.
I think the only downside of this game is the fact that I'm not gonna be able to get it when it comes out. if I don't have a PS4 by the time it's come out, and my PC is definitely not strong enough to play this game.
You'll if you grab that GPU I was telling about, you should be fine.
I think I need a new case for my computer.
No, not for the GPU.
What's the GPU?
Graphics card.
Oh, I bought a graphics card and it didn't fit.
Yeah, because you didn't do the one I told you. I'll just go into this another time. Don't worry about it.
I don't have money anymore. Yeah, that was. Yeah, New York City Comic Con was fun for what it was.
Did you do anything yesterday, or?
I just walked around with my friends and be like, hey, let's check out. Oh, actually, no, there was one thing that happened. We ran into Todd McFarlane.
Nice.
Yeah, out of nowhere. Like we were just walking through the main show floor room. And we bumped into Todd McFarlane. He was like, oh shit, you're Todd McFarlane.
Oh shit, like, Spawn.
And I was like, yeah, I'm heading to the sign. I was like, can we get a picture? He was like, yeah, you got a phone real quick. it was really cool that he was willing to like take the picture, even though he was literally on the way to the signing booth and stuff like that.
Also, yes, I did see that Claire and Leon are in Monster Hunter
World.
Iceborne.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Oh yeah,
yeah.
She was hilarious.
They just used the RE2 models.
Yeah.
Except Leon's face looks. They zoomed in on his face for like a clip, and it looked really weird.
Well, that's because it's a cosplay.
Yeah. I mean, I guess is there any other like New York City that's not video game related? I guess the only thing New York City Comic Con related that I'd have to talk about, though, that I'd have an interest in talking about, is like Steven Universe Future, but I don't think everybody else here is interested in Steven Universe. So
no.
I love Steven Universe.
My man. Yeah, other than that, that was it. I didn't get to go to any of the panels that I wanted to go to, like the Gandhi Tartakovsky Primal for his new Adult Swim show. But there's things happening. Big Mouth Season 3. I don't care about that show. So, yeah, there's things happening that happen besides video games. But other than that, the best advice that they gave us, well, they gave me, because Kawlun wasn't there with me, was that if you want to see more video games, keep tweeting out to New York City Comic Con or making videos about it, like saying, hey, get video game companies to come.
Yeah, that's I was actually asked, like, talking to some press people, and they were saying, like, yeah, like a big reason why there wasn't as many video games like here in the last couple of years is because like video game press doesn't really show up as much. But like if you build it, they will come, you know, like
okay, so I stand corrected. That is actually Leon, not a costume.
Ooh.
And the reason he looks weird is probably because Monster Hunter World runs off of like a really, really heavily modified version of Capcom's old engine,
MT frameworks, yeah,
and not RE engine, so it doesn't have the subsurface scattering needed to make the skin look good.
I feel like if wouldn't that be like way too much for like Monster Hunter World to work on the RE engine. And not like it'd be like too much work to do, but I feel like if that was on your computer and you had all those huge monsters growing through caves, knocking stuff down completely all the time, wouldn't that like make the game run really slower?
I mean, the game already kind of runs like shit, and it also doesn't really need any of the benefits of like RE engine. The game already looks.
RE engine is actually really versatile.
Yeah.
Bosses in Devil May Cry 5 like destroy the environment, and the game runs fine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess we could talk about some of the booths that we went to, because that was definitely a wild ride. I guess for me, for yesterday, there were a lot of booths where they had games on sale, like PS2 games on sale. Like there was one booth that had Dragon Ball Z Budokai at like $20, and then I went to a different booth and it had it for like $5. And then there were some booths where like you can see like that it's a GameStop. They got it from GameStop, where it says like $20 for like the original game, and then like they repriced the game to be like $35-$50.
Yeah, because inflation.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Video Games New York has everything priced high, but that's because they also sell like brand new sealed copies, which is cool, but also kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
At least for older games, like it only works for older games if you just want a sealed copy to put on your shelf, or if the game like just costs as much like new as it does used. Like I've purchased like the Yakuza and the Fatal Frame games like new and sealed from Video Games New York because like the regular copies cost as much. Mm-hmm. Regular like used copies, that is.
There was also a bootleg booth that we went to.
Yeah, there was a bootleg booth. Holy hell!
Yeah,
it was the best. It was my favorite booth of the whole event.
Cody's about to step out, so see you later, Kody.
See you later, Kody.
See ya. Also, bootlegs. That sounds really awesome, actually.
Yeah, it was all like bootleg Blu-rays and TV shows. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Like they had like Netflix series on Blu-rays. It's like that doesn't happen. It was F is for Family. They had a Donkey Kong Country Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And a Darkstalkers Blu-ray. It was really weird.
They had all the Star Wars despecialized editions on one disc. It was really funny.
That is weird because the quality was also still really good. So like, they're Blu-ray, but I can't believe like New York Comic Con let like a Blu-ray, bootleg booth just allowed. Like that's illegal technically.
Yeah, it is.
And I mean like technically like selling fan art it's kind of illegal, but it's like no, they don't really care that much. Why would you see your fans?
Well, I guess we'll let Kody go if he has to. But
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
I remember there's a con on Long Island that I haven't been to in a long ass time, mainly because they just haven't done it in a long ass time. But I remember they used to have a bootleg booth. I think it was like the same people, and then they just like stopped. They stopped going. And I was like, oh, did they crack down? But like, no, like here it is, bigger and better than ever. Was Super Mario Brothers 14 at the booth? No, because that's a video game and not a
movie. It was just movies.
It was movies and TV shows and cartoons and stuff like that. Like they had like concert footage. It was wild.
Yeah.
It was the anime. It was the Darkstalkers anime, by the way.
Mm-hmm. The old one, not like a OVA, where it's like really what you supposed to be like really good. It's like a cartoon thing.
Even even like Midtown Comics used to have like bootlegs in the store, but they just stopped. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Like a long time ago.
They probably got cracked down too.
It was probably more like Marvel teams up with us now. We should stop doing this, you know.
Yeah.
But that's really all there was of New York Comic Con. It's we got press passes, so we were like allowed like entry for free, and we were like skipping lines and stuff. Which, I mean, that's the best way of doing it. Unfortunately, not everyone can do that.
Unfortunately, not all the companies that we tried to.
Yeah, and then on top of that, we still had to get online for stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it. I guess we do it again next year. It's just I hope the video game lineup's a bit better, but we still had fun nonetheless.
Right. I'd do it again next year if I had, if I had more money. Because of course, with it being Comic-Con, like of course I want to buy things like Artist Alley. Hell yeah, I want to buy some art.
You got that
I-
Gumball comic.
Oh yeah, I got the limited edition Amazing World of Gumball like SNES game comic,
Yeah.
and so I'm gonna save that, hold on to it, and like
You gonna buy
expect-
more Bowsette art?
there wasn't really any Bowser art. So it's like I couldn't buy anything. There was a lot of Spider-Verse art, which I really wish I could have bought all of it, but I couldn't. The only thing I bought from Artist Alley was a Sonic the Hedgehog Tangle and Wisp comic of the two new characters from the IDW Sonic comics.
Nice.
And, yeah. And I got a comic signed by Piccolo, the guy who does all that Teen Titans, like them in like casual clothing art.
Yeah.
So that too. And other than that, just like freebie stuff. I got graphic novels, a pen, some tote bags, posters. So yeah, I spent money. Oh, and I got Copic markers because they had like an art shop. There was a few art shops that were set up there that like had Copics on sale for like way less than they would normally go at like Blake. So that was probably one of the best parts of Comic-Con in terms of like buying stuff, other than buying video games. But I didn't do that. Yeah,
Neat.
Comic-Con could have been. I'll go again next year, but I mean, if there's no games that interest me at all, I just might not end up not going. But like, there's always gonna be something that interests me. It's just whether can we get in contact with these people, and will they actually get back to us, where we can actually set something up so that we can play their games.
Yeah, exactly.
That was probably the worst part of Comic-Con, setting up for it.
We're running down to the end here, so I guess we can briefly go over some other stuff that happened. Alpha Dream went bankrupt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, rip them.
I think, like, I don't think there's much more that can be said about that hasn't already been said by just about everyone on the planet, and also
That
Nan
cares.
did in his video from a couple days ago.
Which you should watch.
Yeah, which you should watch. But yeah, it's really unfortunate.
I mean, oh yeah, it's unfortunate people lost their jobs. I think, but
Well, it's unfortunate that the whole company shut down and people, like, the whole thing kind of sucks. It's not like there's any plus
The whole
to it.
company shut
Well, yeah,
down.
I don't think there's any plus to it. I'm just saying that. Oh my bad. Go ahead.
It was likely due to the failure of 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
I don't know if Paper Jam did very well, but Bowser's Inside Story definitely not. No.
Nope. It was like
Came
the
out at a
lowest
really
selling
bad
Mario
time.
game,
People
right?
had abandoned the 3DS already.
Mhm. And then there's still that. There's still also that like rumored, or I don't know if it was rumored, but like officially announced or something like that. Oh no, it hasn't
They
been.
posted
But there was a
job
game.
listings for a Nintendo Switch game, which will not be happening now, I don't believe.
Well, according to Liam Robertson, he said that, like, they were working with a company on a Switch game that has been announced, but they just haven't, like, they just didn't say what game they were working on. Some people are suspecting it's a Little Town Hero, which
Ooh.
would make sense.
I feel like really that they said that it's such a small. Well, how many workers does Alpha Dream have? What,
Enough to make
if we know that?
3DS games, which you don't
Okay.
need too many folks to work on.
If they backed Little Town Hero, that's unfortunate, because I don't think that game is going to do well at all.
I think it'll do well because Toby Fox means it.
It's gonna be
Toby
sold
Fox.
on Toby Fox alone.
Yeah, Toby Fox is probably the like way bigger than the fact that it's developed by Game Freak.
Yeah.
There were 46 employees as of last year at Alpha Dream.
Oh, that's not a lot. Okay, so yeah, they probably would be helping on. They probably could have been helping on Little Town here because Toby Fox himself said it's a small team, anyways.
Yeah, it's like a
Maybe-
$30 game. It's not a
Yeah,
yeah.
considering the fact that it is $30. Oh my bad.
They made a mobile. The title looks like a fitness game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they made a mobile fitness game that probably did better than Bowser's Inside Story.
Oh, definitely. But if they have microtransactions in it, then yeah.
I mean, of course, the answer is, like, does this mean the end for Mario and Luigi? And, like, probably not.
No.
but I suspect we wouldn't see something for a long time.
Yeah.
It's possible that Nintendo might just scoop up the employees and just keep
Yeah.
making games, because
Yeah.
I remember correctly, Nintendo picked up a lot of employees from Capcom's flagship division, which had helped develop a bunch of the handheld Zelda games. And now the director of all of those handheld Zelda games directs all the big Zelda games. So yeah,
There you go.
Oh, cool.
director of Minish Cap is also the director of Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild. Wow.
Wow.
So yeah, that happened.
And then Joker also came out this week.
The Joker, baby.
I'm
So
the
you saw
Joker,
that.
baby.
You saw that movie.
I
What
saw
did you think of it?
Joker. I'm apparently really going against the grain here. I guess I'm more siding with the critics on this one than the general audience. I was not that big of a fan of Joker.
How come?
I thought it was a very shoddily written mess. Like, Joaquin Phoenix is a good actor. He does a really good job, but the actual, like, story itself and the things that happen within the movie are so fucking awkward and strung along. It just feels like a series of random events that all lead up to this big climax that they just lifted from the Dark Knight.
So you just thought it wasn't good, not that like it was like.
I
You thought
didn't think
like,
it was
a
bad.
different
I didn't
thing.
think it was really good either. Like, it's a solid, like, I think there's half a good movie in there. It's like every other DCEU movie. There's half a good movie in there, and then there's like a second half of that movie that's just like what like every other scene was either good or like not good. It was bizarre.
Okay.
Also, I find it highly ironic that this week Martin Scorsese came out and said like was like, oh, I don't think Marvel movies are like cinema, which he didn't say. Like, people are misinterpreting that as him saying that like Marvel movies aren't movies, which is not what he said. He was just saying it's not like high art. Which, I mean, granted, given Martin Scorsese's like lineup and career, like, of course he's not going to think Marvel movies are art. But I also find it amazing that people are now trying to shit on Scorsese, despite the fact that Joker is like a blatant taxi driver knockoff, just without any of the nuance or any of the things that make Travis Bickle an interesting character.
I've been watching a lot of reviews of the Joker movie, and I've been hearing
Jokester.
a lot of people referencing Taxi Driver. And
Yeah,
I've
everyone.
never seen
Taxi Driver and King of Comedy. Those are like the two movies that like this film definitely has huge fucking parallels with. I think
So,
the
like,
big difference is that those two movies have a way better sense of like building a character, while in this one it's just like, yep, he's the Joker, baby. Like, comically, I felt like Joker was almost like a fucking melodrama, because like every single thing that happens to him is so like cartoonish and over the top and just kind of comes out of nowhere. Like, the first scene of the movie, like he just gets like beat up by a ton of kids, and then like there's this whole weird arc where he has like an imaginary girlfriend, and like all this shit just kind of happens with no rhyme of reason. Like, I get it's supposed to be a descent into madness. Like, of course, I get that. But, like, if you're just saying, like, if you're just putting out, like, look at this sad thing that happens, feel bad for him. It's like, yeah, but, like, not to be a nitpicky asshole, but realistically, like, why would this thing happen? Spoilers on that. It's halfway through the movie. That's not a spoiler. But, yeah, it's...
Didn't they show him getting beat up by kids, like, literally in the trailer?
Yeah, it's like the first 2 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go see it, and I've never seen Taxi Driver or whatever the other movie was, King of Comedy.
Yeah.
So like, when I go see it, it's like, hey, I'll either like it or I won't, and I won't
I think a
won't be
lot
able
of
to
the
compare it
people.
to anything else.
Also, I don't think it's a spoiler because it has literally nothing to do with anything else that happens in the movie. Like, it just happens. And, like, it's just like, oh, it's another sad thing that happened. Like, it doesn't lead to anything else. If it did, like, if it actually had some sort of, like, grand, like, oh shit moment, but it doesn't. Like, it doesn't pay off at all. You're just kind of like, alright.
A thing about Joker is it's definitely made with very little self-awareness. I'm sure Joaquin Phoenix was very aware of what he was doing, but the director,
Yeah, I don't know what
No,
Todd
sir.
Phillips' deal is.
he's just like, modern audiences are not prepared for the wokeness of Joker.
Which is
What?
weird, because, like, I don't know. And of course, the whole thing is cemented by this this whole fake controversy about how it's supposed to be, like, the rise of the incel, even though if you actually watch the movie, it doesn't have anything to do with that at all. It's I think people took a meme a little too far to the point where boomers started picking up on it.
People attribute it to something that had nothing to do with it, and then they spurred the whole thing.
People
About it
memed
being
it to
about
death, and then
incels.
people fell for the meme.
Yeah,
Because, like, I remember we were walking by the AMC, and they had cops standing outside it.
Mhm.
Remember that, Phantom? But, like, the
Yeah.
theater I went to had, like, no security, because who gives a shit?
It's just a fucking movie.
It's just a fucking movie about a
Nothing bad
stupid
happens in
clown that
fucking
goes to
movie
beat
theater.
up Batman. Also, yeah, wait, what?
What did you say, Phantom?
I said nothing bad is gonna happen at the movie. Oh, hold up. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Shit.
Literally the last time the Joker was in an actual movie.
I haven't.
know what I
Ex-
said.
excuse
I haven't
excuse
seen- I
you.
haven't
I'll
seen
have
that.
you know that was a movie with Bane and Catwoman and not
Okay.
the Joker.
Okay, my bad. I forgot about that. I haven't seen Batman movies, so I forgot about that. Also in
No,
general.
it wasn't The Dark Knight.
No, it wasn't The Dark Knight.
Oh damn.
Okay, hopefully, nothing bad happens at the Joker screenings.
Well, considering nothing has happened so far,
Right.
also there
I'll
would
say
be
that.
no. I don't know. I think it's dumb. I think people memed it too hard, and now
Yeah.
people fell for the meme. There's also all this other shit about how disturbing the movie is. That's bullshit too. The movie's not disturbing. It's like the lightest R-rated movie I've ever seen in my life.
Dog Walker was saying it was kind of disturbing. I was like, wow.
Well, Doug Walker also doesn't get how the fucking wall works.
I just think it's the fact that people are attributing in terms of like something bad happening at the theater. Bad people just exist in general. There's always gonna be bad people that exist, sadly, and they're gonna hurt people. I don't think the Joker is gonna be like the thing that causes. I mean, it could be like for some reason they won't understand how Joker.
I just don't want to bring attention to it because I think it's so dumb and I think it's so overplayed at this point, and it's all over a movie that is so okay at best.
Yeah, let's just say always be safe because it's human. You're
People
alive.
get really
Just be safe.
worked up over comic book films.
Yeah, it's almost like they shouldn't, and I'm sick of it. I just want a fucking Batman movie. God damn it.
You mean worked up in the sense of like fan wars, or like worked up in the sense of how what they did with the Joker movie?
People just like stand their fucking ground like crazy about comic book movies. You
For some
can't.
reason,
Yeah.
nowadays comic book movies are like a huge cultural event, and it's just like,
You're not allowed to
Just
say
read a
Marvel
book.
movies are mediocre, even though most of them kind of
yeah,
aren't great.
I'm not allowed to say Avengers Endgame isn't the greatest movie of all time.
Guys,
I'll
it's
say it.
okay if we say Avatar
Russo
and
brothers
Titanic
are
are
holding
mediocre
me.
pieces of shit, but the minute you have an opinion on Avengers Endgame that isn't I love you 3000, get the fuck out of my house.
I'll say
Russo
it.
brothers are holding me at gunpoint.
Yeah.
Black Panther, the last last MCU movie I saw, kinda sucked.
Oh, it
It was
sucks.
really boring.
Black Panther sucks.
It was really annoying. I don't know. It was just really boring and it was really
I was
bad. I think.
I was really put off by Black Panther because they show like the best parts of the movie in the trailer, which is when they're in when they're not in Wakanda.
Oh, I didn't even watch the trailers.
I'm gonna say a spoiler for the Joker movie. Close your ears for the next 5 seconds. I can't enjoy this movie as a Batman movie because all I got was the Waynes getting capped for the 50th fucking time.
Oh, that happens to them?
Yeah. And,
So,
and,
okay,
and
so-
it's yeah.
So at this time, if
Which again also isn't a spoiler because it happens in the beginning of every goddamn Batman movie.
it's also they show in the trailer that he's in an orphanage or whatever. He's either behind the gate, which I assumed was an orphanage.
No, it's not. That's actually Wayne Manor.
Oh, that's actually Wayne Manor.
That's
Okay.
Wayne
Oh, wait, 'cause he's
Manor.
at-
It's the
'cause he
funniest
goes,
scene of the movie because that image of Joker pushing up on Bruce's lips is really fucking funny. And then like big bearded Alfred comes out of nowhere and he's like, "Don't touch Bruce."
Yeah, I forgot that Alfred was there, so he would be able to take care of little Brucey. But so if Bruce is a kid at this point, how long is the Joker just gonna be allowed to like do Joker things before like isn't the fact that isn't it like Gotham's already messed up, and if Joker exists now, it's like who's gonna stop him?
It doesn't matter because none of this is leading to like there's no like extended universe or anything with this. It's just like a standalone Joker movie. And yeah, I know it's also it's not a prequel to the original Tim Burton Batman because it has nothing to do with certain events don't follow.
So Birds of Prey is not gonna have anything to do with this.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
He's got age enough to turn into Jared Leto. He's got a de-age to turn into Jared Leto.
I mean I think like I'm saying it's
that,
yeah.
that Jared Leto runs a cult now,
Yeah.
which
What the
means
fuck?
we probably will never see his Joker again.
No, we won't. They already confirmed that like Birds of Prey and the new Suicide Squad movie and the new Batman movie and everything coming out has nothing to do with the DCEU. They're all standalone movies now.
So no more DC Universe.
Yeah, they confirmed like they're gonna keep making the movies, but there's no like Justice League, there's no Batman v Superman, like all that shit's over.
Oh, thank God.
Which I think, but I mean, the reason why I'm saying that is that because it sucks, because it's like, wow, it's been a while since we had a good Joker, but whoops, this is gonna lead to nothing.
So you thought it was good?
Cover your
No,
ears
I'm not-
in a few seconds. So it doesn't tie in to Batman '89 because like some random dude is inspired by the Joker and then kills the Waynes.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not-
just
it's
some
not
random,
Joker.
it's some rando.
Yeah, and also like the Joker kind of becomes the Joker in the first Batman movie. He can't be the Joker already.
Yeah.
and become it again. Yeah.
I'm so sorry about that.
But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't that big of a fan of it.
It'd be really funny if like Joaquin Phoenix just shows up in some fucking dumbass comic book movie as the Joker.
I just wish it had a better script. I think that's really the best way of putting it. Like I wish like everything it was trying to say and everything it was trying to portray was just like structured better. Cuz like it's really hard to feel like to understand this character's plight when everything happening to him is so laughably dumb.
Right. So like, so since we thought this is the Joker movie like now, and they're not doing like continuations like universes and stuff like that, when is the next time you would think a Joker movie would happen?
I mean, apparently there is like some talk that they might do a Joker 2, but I don't. As I said, like, who knows if this ties into anything Batman related? And like, as much as people were saying like this is a movie about the Joker and not Batman, like, yeah. However, the Joker is at his best
With the
when he's fighting Batman.
Mhm.
and I'm getting really fucking sick and tired of all these superhero movies that are not just like standalone superhero movies. Like I just want a Batman movie. I want a Batman movie where Batman fights this Joker, because like I feel like that'd be really cool. But
Okay, so Joker has super surpassed its budget because of the nature of the movie. It didn't have to be super high budget like most comic book movies.
yeah,
So yeah, sequel probably coming.
Okay. Joker.
I'm the Joker, baby. No, I
What
got
a
these
joke.
scars. Hey guys, name that movie. Why so serious?
I don't know what movie that is.
Persona 5.
So what? So like, what if random thought that popped into my head? What if they did like an Injustice movie
They already tried to do that with
with?
Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
Oh, and Justice League.
But they hate
Zack-
each other.
Zack-
They hate each other in
Zack
that movie.
Snyder.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Superman goes rogue in Justice League.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I wouldn't know.
Not only does he go rogue, his mustache goes rogue too.
So how about Mortal
WB
Kombat?
is making a new Batman movie, but it has nothing to do with this new Joker movie.
Isn't-
And
isn't
also,
in like fucking development turmoil.
yeah, it's also like in early like
Some fun.
pre-production. So who knows if it'll ever actually get made? Because everything is just falling apart at this point.
Yeah.
It also really
What?
sucks. I really wish they just did a standard standalone Batman movie with Ben Affleck, because like they shouldn't have jumped immediately into they shouldn't have immediately jumped into Batman v Superman and then Justice League. Those were bad. I didn't like them. Well,
Yeah,
I kind of liked them, but not like I didn't think they were good.
Yeah, the Batman movie, they were gonna have Ben Affleck star, co-write, possibly direct it. Then he dropped from the entire project, and now they're like talking about fucking Robert Pattinson being there.
Yeah. Oh, and Jonah Hill.
yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. What other movies have you guys seen lately? Oh, what other movies are even out right now that you guys have
All
seen?
the good movies are like next week.
The last movie I saw was Detroit Become Human.
That's a video game. What you mean?
It's a movie.
Or
It's a
is it-
cinematic experience.
Yeah, it's a cinematic experience.
So is Final Fantasy 15 a cinematic experience, or Kingdom Hearts 3 a cinematic experience?
No,
No,
You
they
don't-
have
the last
gameplay.
Have you
But
played a
Detroit
David
Become
Cage
Human
game?
has
No,
gameplay.
no, it doesn't.
Have you played a David Cage game?
You're asking
An
the wrong
article just
person.
came out saying that Joker had the biggest October debut, beating Venom by
Venom's a better movie,
$13 million. So,
Actually, a question: do you think Joker or Venom is better?
I had a lot more fun watching Venom because it's dumb and doesn't take itself so fucking seriously.
I liked Venom.
Like, I was able to laugh at Eddie Brock being like, "I can't wait to take on the big bad." Like that shit's funny.
Okay,
The bad sections of Joker were just kind of boring and dull.
So how about a Venom or Spider-Man 3?
Venom.
Fuck you.
Actually, I haven't seen Spider-Man 3 in like forever. I can't say that for certain, but
Okay.
we're hitting that 2-hour mark, so I think it's time
Yeah.
we wrapped this up. Thanks for listening to my hot takes on Joker, by the way.
Mhm. Time to go back on the cage. I haven't been on this first GMSG in nine
get-
episodes.
Get
I
back
have
in the
not
cage.
I have not been on here in a while either.
Yeah.
The
Last
last
time I was on, I hosted and I made an abomination.
Oh god.
Oh boy. So yeah, expect a couple more New York Comic Con videos to come out of us. A new all content will be coming out tomorrow, so look forward to that.
I want to do some articles on the artists that I saw and just promote them. Be like, hey,
Yeah.
here's a whole bunch of artists that are at New York Comic Con. Go check them out. Here's some of their pieces.
I'm working on my review for Astral Chain, which
Bless you.
statement is that it is a game.
And as always, links down below to donation links, our Patreon. Please consider subscribing to our Patreon. It really helps us out. Our Discord's down below, all of our Twitters. And yeah. Have a good one.
Sunday.
Yeah, have a good
Please
Sunday.
support us on Patreon.